You're with Julian on the Brown Notes and AUKRUS and 6 eyes. It's like AUKUS and 5 eyes. We've added Russia. So a few years back, you may remember a certain gentleman, a blundering blunderbuss, offensive idiot called Scott Morrison that used to run this country, decided with hours' notice to destroy our relationship with France and virtually any other country that he came across by tearing up a submarine deal for a new class of nuclear submarines that we don't even need, that will cost hundreds of billions of dollars by the time they get here to float around in the ocean and do next to nothing. Although with the impending World War III, we might get to use them once. So he decided to join AUKUS, which was a UK, US, Australia, UK and America, in a new submarine deal which will cost about $368 billion and deliver everything by 2050. So how's that looking at the moment with Donald Trump in the White House and opposing all our allies in Europe and siding with Russia? Not looking that great at the moment from the outside. Not a forward-thinking move, I would say. Wedding ourselves for the next few decades to an America that has not sliding into fascism or a bit like fascism, but actually a fascist dictatorship at the moment, with regards to everything that everyone knows and the massive overreach and violence of the Trump administration. So we're now wedded to this. I saw someone, I've not noticed much in the media, even commenting on AUKUS in the wake of Trump's recent commentary on Ukraine and wedding himself to Russia. Who saw that coming? I mean, all the people back in 2016 that used to rubbish us for saying that he was in bed with Putin or Putin's poodle, I would say you owe us an apology, wouldn't you? So now we've got this deal with Trump's America instead. And, you know, when you look at Peter Dutton's idea about having nuclear power in Australia, it's never about energy providing. It is about opening up our uranium for weapons production and ultimately having nuclear weapons, probably American ones, on Australian soil. But we're now wedded to this incredibly complicated and long process of acquiring American nuclear submarines and building new nuclear submarines and a whole raft of advanced weapons technology that is probably going to be shared with Russia to some degree. Why is no one actually mentioning this? I mean, the thing I was about to say about it, someone said, given how Trump works, he is probably going to now turn around and lambast Australia for getting it too cheap and that we should pay more, and that we should pay more by giving up our minerals to America to mine, particularly uranium, for nuclear weapons. We get our first subs in 2040, I think, and the last one's something like 2050. Is he going to start telling us how we can use them? Is he going to start making everything with a caveat that we have to, well, if they're going to get this deal, they need to have some American nuclear missile bases in Australia. There's no way that we would do that at the moment, but Dutton would. He'd lay the groundwork with nuclear power stations, and then 10 years from now, and I said this last year in a piece, like, what's the reason that Dutton pressed the nuclear button? Ultimately, it's about nuclear weaponry. And ultimately, it's about us being amenable to nuclear weaponry from the American perspective on this country. And it's a complete lie. Like, the numbers just don't stack up for energy generation. It's wildly expensive compared to renewable energy already. And the fact that it's like every single nuclear project this century has overrun massively in time frame and in budget, and some have been cancelled because they just can't bear the fact that the cost has tripled and the time frame's blown out so far. And there's only one of like four or five that have been attempted. But what happens now with Trump holding these cards about our nuclear submarines? I mean, it's not a good look at the moment, but even scarier, to be honest, than the nuclear submarine deal, which will probably never happen, I hope and I assume, is Five Eyes. Five Eyes is one of the world's most devoutly secretive alliances of the US, Australia, the UK, Canada and New Zealand. And we basically share intelligence from MI6 to the CIA to the National Security Association to, you know, every agency at the very highest level, the technology, the assets, the raw intel is shared amongst us, and countries want to become part of this as well. So Israel keeps trying to join, and thank God we haven't let Israel join yet. And I'm assuming America will start saying Israel should join Five Eyes, which is another hurdle down the track. But when we're sharing intel on countries like Russia with Trump's America, raw intel, assets, people we've got in positions that they already know about, these are serious things. Who knows what the potential is here for enormous amounts of blowback and, you know, duplicitous stuff going on behind the scenes with Trump's America and Russia. It's pretty terrifying stuff. And it kind of invalidates the whole idea of Five Eyes in the first place, especially when you've got like, you know, I don't even know if Pine Gap's still going, but stuff like that, which is on Australian soil, gathering intelligence for Trump's America now. And they're using our intel to whatever ends Trump's America wants to use them. So, you know, is there a firewall around these intelligence agencies to stop Trump's America getting access to any of it or shaping any of it? Doesn't seem to be at the moment. Not with him like getting Elon Musk to send out emails to every member of the FBI asking them to respond with 5 things they've done in the last week to justify their existence, and probably prying open all of this incredibly sensitive data, which there might well be a hotline to Putin on. So I look for, you know, we're saying at the moment that Trump's America doesn't affect Australia too much because of our trade not being the most important thing with America. And in fact, us actually importing more American goods than we sell to America, with China being our most important. But we're not talking about the military angle here at all. We're kind of saying, you know, when it comes to Ukraine, we're way down the pecking order. There's Ukraine, there's Russia, there's America, and then there's the European nations. We're way down the pecking order. But we're part of Five Eyes with only 5 countries, one of them being Trump's America now, and we're one of only 3 countries in this enormous security pact. It's terrifying.